Are the Chicago Bears contenders or pretenders in 2026 and 2027? That's what we're here to talk about today. It's a new series. We're going to be trying to drop one every Monday, but we're going to start the series with the Chicago Bears. Very intriguing team. Let's just get right into it. The Bears are coming off of a tough loss, 20-17 in overtime against the LA Rams. This is a team that over-succeeded last year. Started off rough last season, turned it around. But the question today is, do they have what it takes to, go up that next level from the good team that they were last year competing with the Rams to the team that can beat the Rams, beat the Seahawks in the NFC. Those are the top two teams in the NFC, and ultimately beat the AFC champion to hoist the Lombardi. That's what we're here to talk about today. And we'll go ahead and start with their offense, because that is what made them so great last year, their offense. And when you talk about their offense, you got to talk about the young star, Caleb Williams. Look, there are several debates that swirl around the Chicago Bears. Is Ben Johnson that good? Is Ben Johnson not that good? Is DeAndre Swift good? Is he not good? Can Rome be the number one guy on an offense? Can he not? You could debate all you want about these things, but there's one thing you can't debate, and that's that Caleb Williams is an elite quarterback in the NFL. Coming off a season where he was 7th in passing yards and 6th in touchdowns, I think we all expect Caleb to take an even bigger leap and be in the MVP conversation this year. I think he really can. The one thing that I will say holding him back is I don't know if I trust their receiving core. Now look, DJ Moore is far from elite. We know that. He's a good receiver, but he's far from elite. But losing him is going to put a lot more pressure on Rome Odunze and Luther Burden. And we do not know yet if these guys are up to, that challenge. Rome Odunze had flashes last year, many flashes, but we did not get to see a full breakout because he was behind DJ Moore. But in games where he had 10 plus targets, which was only 3, but in those games he had 86 plus yards in each, over 14 yards of reception in each of those games. He's capable for sure. We just have to see if he's able to do it. And I do like Luther Burden, the speedster. I think he is a good receiver, but we'll just have to see how they handle being the new 1 and 2 in Chicago. One thing about Chicago, and it's a reason Caleb had such a good year last year, is that offensive line is elite. And I think that will get them very far this year. It's a big reason why Caleb was so successful, and it's a big reason why their run game was so successful. And I think that's another reason that they, another reason that we're having this conversation. Can they contend for a Super Bowl? Because their running back duo was so elite last year with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. The Chicago Bears were 3rd in total rushing yards last season and 3rd in yards per carry. So those two, they carried a heavy load and they were successful at doing so. I think they'll be able to do it again this year because I believe Chicago retained most of their O-line, if not all of it. So offensively, this team, you're like, yes, I think they could contend, but are they on the level of a Seattle or a Los Angeles? We're not even going to talk about the AFC. We're talking about right now, can they even get out of the NFC offensively? And offensively, I don't know if the answer is yes, because yes, Caleb Williams is, someone we're looking at to potentially be an MVP this season. But the Bears are just missing that one. Seattle's got Njigba. Rams have Devontae and Puka. It just feels like they're missing that. It doesn't even have to be a superstar, but it doesn't feel like they have a star right there, which I feel like they could really benefit from. And I think it's something that might hold them back. But ultimately, this is a great offense. But now we need to talk about their defense, which is a bit of a lower point for this team. Their secondary, outside of Jalen Johnson and Fieneman, who they just drafted, it scares me a little bit, man. You got Kobe Bryant, who is solid, but I'd like to see a little more from. But then you've got Tyreek Stevenson, Malik Muhammad. You got Elijah Hicks. I do like Kyler Gordon. I will say they do have Kyler Gordon, but it just feels like they're a little lackluster out there. But it's not a bad secondary. But the edge depth is where this team really just takes a big dip. You have Montez Sweat on one side. And then you have, I don't even want to say, I don't know how to say this guy's name. I'll put it up on the screen, Deo. That's a big drop-off, man. And if they're not getting to the quarterback, it's going to be hard for them to win games. Not just games, but games in the playoffs, deep in the playoffs. I mean, they were 24th in sacks last year with only 35. And their run defense wasn't much better, as they allowed 360 yards a game, total yards a game, that is, which was 28th in the NFL. And they didn't do much to improve that defense, which I don't feel like, that didn't feel like a move to get to a Super Bowl when you were so close last year, just losing to the Rams, who are a damn good team in the divisional round. But let's say, hypothetically, they do come out and they are the offensive juggernaut that we want them to be, and defensively they do just enough, right? Let's say that this is, best case scenario for the Chicago Bears. At the end of the day, they are still in the NFC North, and that is just a tough division to really climb out of. I know they won it last year, but that was off of an off year from the Detroit Lions. The Packers, they had missed Micah Parsons for some time. Not a lot of time, but they had missed some time from Parsons. And the Vikings just got better. The Vikings got a hell of a lot better. They'll be a part of this series too later in the year. But at the end of the day, can the Chicago Bears compete for a Super Bowl? Are they a contender or a pretender? As much as I love Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson and what they're doing over there, I think the Chicago Bears, as of right now, as it stands, are pretenders. I'd love to see them contend. They're a very fun football team, but I think it's going to take a little more than just Caleb and Ben Johnson, carrying the load. I think they need another guy out there at receiver and maybe a couple more pieces on defense, and this is a contending team. But that's no shout at the Chicago Bears. They're just in a really tough division and conference, to be honest with you. The NFC is loaded right now, but we'll see what they do, man. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you think the Chicago Bears are contenders or pretenders, and comment a team that you want to see me do this with next. But I appreciate you guys watching, man.